Skill acquisition is the ability to be trained on a particular task or function, wherefrom you become an expert. The reason many skilled persons and technicians earn more than some university graduates today is that the skilled persons acquire more of hand-on competency that can make them self-reliant. The skilled persons are most times preferred because they can multitask on the job with high levels of competence and accuracy, which is not unconnected to the series of skills possessed. This is why there has been a surge in the demand of skilled workers in many factories across the nation. Skilled workers from welding, mechanic, plumbing, carpentry to electrical works, among others, to mention just a few, are darlings to many who constantly demand for their services. Statistics show that many youths are unemployed in Nigeria. Much more, according to records, are unemployable. This is unequivocally so because majority of them lack the requisite skills to either depend on themselves or are unsuitable for any vacancy that may arise in most establishments in Nigeria. Since 2010, the National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) has, in collaboration with other government agencies and some members of the private sector, been working assiduously to change the narrative. The effort is geared towards liberating Nigerians and redirecting their thinking and beliefs from over-dependence on white-collar job, thereby fixing them on the voyage of skills acquisition, self-reliance, economic growth and development.
A lot of people think skills is not important. It was made for dropouts, it was made for redundants, people that family, a child or a son. So everybody thought the skill sector, when you say, okay, going to private sector to learn how to fix one thing or the other, they thought it was meant for people with a brain. You know, when I was studying, when I was, going to the workshop to learn this, how to fix a car 35 years ago, in the 80s, it was a big taboo. My parents was not poor, but it was a dream that became a reality about what I do today. But I've seen it that, skills, whether you are a professor, whether you are a PhD holder, it is good that at least you know how to fix one or two things.
Most of the times, our graduates from the universities, polytechnics, and similar institutions find it difficult to fit into the world of work. To ensure that there is a seamless transition between education and training, we looked at the best practices existing in other countries of the world and decided to adopt the National Vocational Qualifications Framework, which now is the National Skills Qualifications Framework.
The National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) introduced and implemented the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework (NSQF). It went further to ensure that the framework had the approval and blessings of the Federal Executive Council. Today, the National Skills Qualification (NSQ) has started yielding the desired results. Many Nigerians have queued into the program in different fields of training and expertise.
We have close to about 500 to 600 TVET institutions right now in the country, while the non-formal sector are very, very vast in number. The institution training centers, vocational centers, etc., we all have them. And the formal sector, we have close to about 280 curricula that are really in place now. While in the non-formal sector, in the area of National Skills Qualifications Framework, we are doing right now, we have close to about 200 occupational standards we have been able to develop over the past 5 to 6 years.
Bamidele Abidemi, a steel machinist whose prowess on the job leaves many with wonder. He is well sought after by many construction companies. Steel fixing is a job Bamidele loves to do.
Steel fixing work is very simple and very easy. For those ones that are like some people usually look at it like it's a difficult work, you carry iron, you do this. Iron work is a simple work that I love to do from my childhood, and I'm happy that I'm into it.
He started from a humble beginning. Gradually, he developed interest and became passionate with his skill of steel fixing, or what is popularly known as iron bending in Nigeria.
I started from a plate bender. That was year 2008. So I saw people bending plates, all this design of plates like checker plates using for doors. So later on, I was like, okay, let me go and further more on my educational level. So I have to go to ULDA to study more about the course. So I give glory to God that here I am today.
Today, Bamidele is one of the technicians working on one of the biggest construction projects in Lagos. The ground bridge that stretches from Pen Cinema to Okekoto, a distance of about 10 kilometers, is a huge project in Lagos, one of the longest ground bridges in Africa.
Here I am today. My salary is also much because I'm receiving money that someone in the office too is receiving. So forget about someone is receiving 500,000, this and this. It's we only improve your educational level, and your educational level will tell you the amount which will be paid off. Like now, the amount I'm being paid right now, I can say that some people in the office, we have been collecting the same salary.
Godia Joshua is a specialist in carpentry. She is one of the few female carpenters around. To Godia, it is high time for the female folk to take their pride of place in the modern society. That informed her decision to acquire skills in furniture and carpentry.
Most of the time, people do say a woman cannot do this, it's only meant for a man. I just feel like what a man can do, a woman can also do better. So I just feel like to join it, and it's a good skill for me because it's going to give me little income that I will use it to buy one or two things for myself, to get lot of things for myself with it, without me even not going to an office to do a work.
Why would Godia choose to go into carpentry work when most of her contemporaries are rushing into the over-congested formal education?
In this country, Nigeria, there's no work. White-collar job is not there the way it was before. So I think with you having a handwork, the skill, you'll be able to assist yourself at home without, although you have gone to school, the certificate is there, no work. So it's not of use to me. So with this handwork I have, as much as I can do that handwork, I will use it to fetch money for myself.
Adamu Usain Abako is a graduate from one of the higher institutions in Nigeria. He has waited for long to get a job. But when the white-collar job seems not to be forthcoming, he ventured into skills acquisition through one of the federal government empowerment programs.
When I got information through a friend of mine, the federal government is empowering youth for apprenticeship training. So I decided to come down to APD Capital Estate and apply. And by God's grace, I succeeded. I was shortlisted. When I received the message, I was very happy. So at the end of the day, we start the training. We start training right from class. We do 3 months in class. That is for theory. Then after 3 months in class, we pass out to graduate. After we graduate, they now share working tools that the federal government provides for us. They share it for us. After they share, they say now, okay, we should go for 9-month practical.
At the moment, Adamu is a skilled person. He is into masonry and can do a lot with his hands.
What I can do with my hand now, to the best of my knowledge, I can do masonry work. Now I can build a house. I can do starting from forming. I can start from forming, build out to the lintel level. After casting of lintel of a head coach, I can do it now perfectly. I thank God for that.
So
because before I don't have short knowledge, but now since I apply for this Empower, I have acquired the knowledge. People can make over good living because if you know what you are doing as a messenger, and if you take messenger as a profession, Oga, I bet you, even some people that are doing government work, they can't compare themselves with you as far as you know what you are doing and you are committed to do it.
Undeniably, skill acquisition is the way to go. It is the way forward for our teeming youths if we must make headway towards national development. That is why the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, has committed reasonable time and resources at entrenching technical, vocational education and training (TVET). The National Skills Qualification (NSQ) is a bold step towards actualizing the skills needed in Nigeria.
This is the right step in the right direction, that training is not just book and paperwork training, but it actually evolves into hands-on training before you get certified. So as a training provider now, Naihotor, it's like a dream come true. It's something we believed in, but maybe we didn't have the strong structure and legal backing to it. NBTE has brought that structure, that legal backing to the fact that training is no longer just paperwork training, but within this industry and this sector, there must be a lot of hands-on training for it.
In a bid to actualizing the NSQ program, NBTE has since developed a 6-level qualification system corresponding to qualifications obtained from the National Educational System. It has gone further to develop National Occupational Standard (NOS) for many trades, with which candidates are assessed on the job to ascertain their mastery before being awarded with the Nigerian Skills Qualification (NSQ).
The government has set an agenda to move away from oil revenue to go to the non-oil revenue. And that's why we are developing a lot of standards in these areas so that we can train manpower.
Certainly, many Nigerian youths are taking the opportunity presented to them as the chart for demand for skilled people keeps maintaining an upward trend. The story of these two people will surely interest you. After acquiring unique skills in the hospitality discipline, today they both work in one of the best private universities in Nigeria.
I work in the cafeteria. I'm a staff of Pan Atlantic University. I studied hospitality, but what I do here, the staff for them here is basically in the cafeteria, what I do.
I work in the coast section as a production manager.
Both Callista and Promise are good with their hands. Their job has to do with hospitality management, but the emphasis is more on the practical and ability to doing the job.
I'd say I'm very good at what I do. Well, in hospitality, you don't learn just one particular part of the whole industry. We learn the food production parts, we learn the food and beverage service parts, and we learn the housekeeping area as well. But where I'm working particularly now is the cafeteria, and what I do, I know I'm very good at it.
Skills is very, very good. It makes you to be confident with whatever you're doing, and it makes you get a job easily. Because certificate, when you get there, you present your certificate, but you cannot perform what you have learned. But with this NSQ, you can actually perform what you have learned without being scared. When they say, yeah, do this, you can do it confidently.
How good or satisfactory are these two ladies based on the profession they choose for themselves? Are they making a living out of it?
I applied for PAU and they took me immediately because I was good at what I do. And then taking care of myself has not been something difficult because what I earn from what I do is worth it. And
you know, with time when you grow, your income, the money they pay you to grows, it grows as well. So you see that you're not just stagnant. You can take care of yourself, you can take care of your family. It's something that you should treasure.
Having enjoyed and still enjoying the fruit of their labor through skills acquisition and excelling in what they do, Callista and Promise have this to say.
With skills, you can actually do a lot of things for yourself without depending on anybody.
Anything that you know you can use your hands to do, go ahead and go for that thing. Don't be jobless. Don't sit at home thinking that you cannot make it in life, or this is how your life has to be. No.
Meet Lukman Ibrahim, the busy man.
I get a lot of calls from people, but the fact that I am furthering in my education has always make me turn down jobs. But at times I take some of them, and I've worked in a couple of places. I've worked for Lagos State Polytechnic, and I've worked for a couple of households as well. I've worked at Surulere, I've worked at Lekki, Severally, I've worked at Ikorodu. I've worked at lots of places.
Lukman is into joinery carpentry. A young man of 21 years of age, still in school, but has acquired skills in carpentry. Because of that, he is ever busy and continually making legitimate money for himself.
I'm a carpenter. I'm majorly based in joinery carpentry, and sometimes I do construction carpentry as well. I really like to do my job because it is a very good job, and as you can see, they're usually beautiful if you know what you're doing and when you are done.
He got his training from a practical-oriented institution in Lagos, but has since leveraged on ICT to enhance his capability.
The fact that I love doing carpentry and I'm fascinated by it, I went on my own to study very well online. Then I started practicing a year back, but I've gotten very good at it that I'm very sure that I can meet international standards because I've done so much research, so much practice, and then I know I've done so much jobs that can testify that I'm good at it.
Lukman cannot help but testify to the fact that he is making a living from his trade and that the future indeed looks bright.
I would say I'm making a very good living out of it, a reasonable living out of it. But at the moment, I'm always broke because anytime I earn, I usually invest them in purchasing tools that are useful for my job.
She is a trained mechanic by the famous Lady Mechanic Academy in Lagos. Ejiro has since been working on her own, doing what she knows how to do best, which is repairing cars.
I'm auto mechanic. I deal with vehicles. I repair Japanese vehicles. I repair American vehicles. I repair German vehicles.
She also fends for her family from the income derived in the business of automobile mechanic. To Ejiro, auto mechanic is her life.
I'm making a living out of my job because that is where I feed, that is where I train my children.
Ojomash Automobile Clinic is a technical company and one of the training providers associated with NSQ. In collaboration with Mafita in Kano, the Auto Clinic has engaged in training youths on various skills.
So some of these boys that were given to us, when they came I give them the first training and I ask them to choose on their own will where they are interested on to work. Is it the mechanical session? Is it the panel-beating session? Or is it the painting session? Which really some of them, they selected and they were with us.
Sani Haruna is one of the trainees at Ojomash Automobile who specializes in panel beating. The young man started from scratch and presently does most of the work in his section.
Tunda na zo na fara a bangaren panabitin, kuma tunda na fara yin bangaren panabitin ina jin daɗin sa sosai. Saboda anan na fi mai da hankali saboda kuma tunda aka kamu da shauran ƴan uwana wanda muka zo da sunan gurin ina jin daɗin aiki na kamar yadda na fara shi a bangaren panabitin section.
For Adora Esther, it is a dream come true. After undergoing training at Lagoon Institute for Hospitality, one of the accredited training providers on national skills qualification, she got employment with White Sand School, Lekki, in Lagos.
It is hospitality, and the hospitality entails how you treat your guests. So in the hospitality industry, I learned how to cook for my guests, different types of dishes, how the different ways to present it, because presentation is very, very important. I also learned that people that have different allergies, so I also take that in important because allergy can cause a lot of things. And then I could also learn how to serve. I can also be front office personnel. I also learned laundry.
Adora works as a chef and she is doing very well.
Due to the skill I acquire, I can work in every department. So I can work in the kitchen that is cooking for the students. I can also serve them. I can work in the workshop, and then I can prepare their desserts, different pastry desserts for them.
For Pamela Igwebu, passion propels her desire to become one of the best automobile mechanics in Nigeria. So when the opportunity came, she grabbed it. She is a qualified auto technician.
Growing up in a family of 5, I developed this skill, and I always derived this joy fixing our generator then. So from there, I had it in mind that during my university years, I'm going to study electrical engineering. So as God may have it, I went to the university and I obtained my BA Engine in electrical engineering, but still it's not enough because I knew my calling. I knew that I have to work as a mechanical engineer. So I enrolled on the program and build automobile. So at ITF Oregu, Ojota, Lagos, there I acquired the skill that brought me here.
On this sunny day, Pamela was busy as always in her workshop, doing the job she loves so much.
What I did was to inspect the minibus. It has to do with checking all the tires, the bolts on the rim to see if it's well fastened, check the gauge, the oil gauge, the water level gauge, check the lights if they are in perfect condition. Then I also diagnose the car to check if there is any fault using a diagnostic machine.
As a skilled person, Pamela has this to say.
When I finished school, I was unemployable. Some said when you have the knowledge and you don't have the skills. And most offices, they will demand for experiences, 5 years, 2 years experience, and schools, universities, they don't really give you what you want to become employable. So developing these skills, going to the program, paved a way for me to this position I am right now. Yes, I'm using my hands to earn a living.
The National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, has, through the Nigerian Skills Qualification Frame, NSQF, entrenched skill recognition, standardized levels, and remuneration for skilled people across board.
It's the only certification now that can drive a lot of young ones, a lot of youths into construction trades, because it's a global certification. The NSQ, whether you're in the Middle East, Dubai, Qatar, you're in England, it's still the same qualification. So it's understood by those who are going to recruit you. And that is why we strongly believe that once we get it right and we queue in to the NSQ qualification in Nigeria, and we certify our trainees, our students, and they have the NSQ qualification, all the windows are open.
The future is very bright. The future is very bright. We're not going to base our requirement on the paper qualification anymore, but your ability to demonstrate what your hands can do. That's what we are going towards. If you want a technician on maybe welding and fabrication, he should be able to demonstrate knowledge, understanding, and competency on how to go about the welding and fabrication. And that is what we're after.
Indeed, the future is very bright for skilled people. It is not late for Nigerian youths to join the trend in skill acquisition. Skill acquisition reduces crime rate in the society. People begin to think of negative things when they lack what to do. But with acquired skill by individuals, they work and make money every time and every day. Remember, a busy mind is a chain breaker and a go-getter. Sign up and be a skilled person. Surely, the sky will be your limit.